Hi everyone, I'm Rubina'S and welcome to the 12th edition of Rubina'S Radar. Today I'm in conversation with an actor who's as consummate on screen as he is multifarious off screen, given he's a pilot, a rally driver, a writer, director, philanthropist, an entrepreneur, and an occasional Instagram ad flasher. His bright smile hits you like sunshine, and his genuine deep laugh gladdens your heart. His persona is really a happy state of mind. He's handsome, but he wears that very lightly, and he's one of the most well mannered men in Bollywood. Kunal Kapoor, everyone.
Second. Hey, how are you?
Hey, so
How's
good
it
to
going?
see you.
Good to see you as well.
It's been a while.
It's
So
been a
let's
long
get
time.
started with the questions. So, your first
Yes.
film, I want to know, how did you get into acting? Who or what propelled you into acting? Was it Juhu?
No, I had worked in multiple professions. I had worked in the stock market. And I had worked in my dad's construction business, and I just wasn't very happy in what I was doing. And I remember I was in college, and I got a call from a friend of mine, and she was working with Rakesh Mehra, and she was working in advertising. And she said, "You still have long hair?" So I said, "Yes, I do." So she said, "Why don't you come into the office, because we're looking for somebody with long hair for an ad." So I had never been on a set and stuff, and I went for this this audition, and I got the ad. And once I was on a set, I was like, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life." So I started working with Rakesh as an assistant director. And I remember when I was an assistant on Ux, I spent more time in front of the camera than behind. If
Really?
there was somebody that had to stand for lighting, I was the one that was doing it. If someone had to rehearse the lines, I would put my hand up and say, "I'd do it." If some junior artist didn't turn up, I'd be like, I'll stand in for the junior artist. So Rakesh actually told me, he was the first one that told me that, look, dude, you spend more time in front of the camera than behind. You want to be an actor. Why don't you go ahead and take this seriously? And that's how it began.
Yes, and your first film, what an incredulous film directed by none other than M.F. Hussain, the artist, the late artist.
Right.
So, do you remember how it was when you went on the set? Perhaps your first line or your first enactment as Kameshwar?
It was amazing. I mean, just being around Hussain Saab was an amazing experience. He was just such a passionate man. I remember we were shooting in Rajasthan, and I was sitting in the garden, and he came up to me and he said, "What happened? Are you bored?" And I was actually genuinely bored because I hadn't shot for a couple of days. So I said, "Yeah, I am." So he said, "How is it that you're so young and you have time to be bored?" He said, "I'm 87 and I don't have a single second to be bored. If you give me a flower, I can sit for days and look at the flower and not be bored because it's so beautiful. So how can you be so young and have time to be bored?" So that's the sort of man he was, and I think there was so much to learn from him as an individual, as well as obviously being directed by him.
And your film went to Cannes. So your first film was screened at Cannes. I mean, how big of a debut can that be with a music score by
Hi,
Rahman?
Ananya, how are you?
I mean, you really started brilliantly.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was just a chance to work with some of the most incredible talents in the country. Obviously, Tabu and Raghubir Yadav, Hussain Saab, A.R. Rahman doing the music, Santosh Sivan shooting the film. So it was just, I was just lucky to be surrounded by so much talent.
Right. And then you go on to the biggest blockbuster ever, one off. It still holds the record for biggest opening ever, which is Rang De Basanti. Tell me, how did you land that role?
So Rang De Basanti was, I was actually assistant director when Rang De Basanti was being written. So I had actually read the script as an assistant director, and I had no idea that I would eventually be cast in the film. And I had gone to Delhi to do some theatre. I came back from Barry John, and Rakesh was casting for this film. So I went and auditioned for the film, and he loved the audition. He put me through 2 more auditions, and that's how it happened. And in fact, when I signed the film, Amir was not even on the film. I was one of the first few people. The only person that was on the film was Atul, actually, Atul Kulkarni.
Yes.
So
So how does it feel like being
thank you, love you too.
history,
Sorry?
one of the biggest films in the history of cinema.
Well, it's amazing because, first of all, it was a lot of fun doing the film. We had such a good time doing the film. I mean, everyone that watches the film says that it felt like you all had such great chemistry. And that's because we were genuinely close friends while shooting the film. We just spent every day in and out of each other's houses, even when we weren't shooting. So that's the sort of relationship that we had. And beyond that, it's very rarely that you get a chance to be part of something that goes on to become much more than a movie, like Ramdev Basanti did. It became a revolution. I mean, it just changed so many things. Cases were reopened. That candle march at India Gate became like something that everyone that wanted to make a point did. So it just became more than a film. It just became a revolution, and that's not something that happens once or twice in your lifetime.
Yeah. Have you seen the film
I can't
since?
tell you. Huh? Sorry.
Have you seen the film since?
I've seen it a couple of times. I've seen it, of course, watched it a couple of times. It's been a while since I saw it. The sad thing, though, is that Rang De Basanti is still relevant. I mean, I hope we live in a time where we look back at Rang De Basanti and say that used to happen. It doesn't happen anymore. But unfortunately, it's still a film that is relevant.
Yeah. So now let's come to your new film, which is Koi Jaane Na, which is directed by Amin Hamdi.
Yeah.
So tell me, this is your 18th film in your 17-year career. So I'm feeling a little bit of an Amir Khan vibe here, wherein you're doing one or two films a year. How is that happening? Is it intentional? Intentionally do this?
No, not intentionally at all. I'd love to do lots of films. Like I said, I'm happiest when I'm on a film set. And I want to do lots of work, but unfortunately, the sort of work that I want to do was not being offered. Even up until 3-4 years back, I was being offered the same roles in the same sort of films, and I really, I didn't want to wake up and go to a set and be like, "What the hell am I doing here? Why am I doing the same thing over and over again?" Fortunately, I think the last couple of years things have changed dramatically with the advent of OTT and new directors and new content that's coming in. So there's a lot of work that will happen now. I'm reading a lot of scripts. I've finished a show on a platform. I'm about to start another one in the next couple of months. So yeah, it's I think going to be a really exciting time. Thank you.
For an actor like you, it's like
tell the directors
fun.
That. Huh?
I said for an actor like you, the world is now opening up a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot more. I think a lot more. I think the content that we enjoy and we want to be part of is now being made, and that's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Koi Jaane Na trailer, you talk about dualities in a person, and every person has, sort of a black and a white side. So
Correct.
You are this very charming, very well behaved person in real life, in public life.
I'm a serial killer.
Do you leave the component of dark?
A werewolf, I turn into a werewolf.
No. So do you leave the dark side just to experiment with cinema? Because I think that's how you play out your dark side. Right.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, unfortunately, even the roles I get are of the good guy. It's very rarely that I get a chance to even explore the dark side in cinema. But I think we all have a dark.
Huh? So Koi Jaane Na is one of them.
Koi Jaane Na is one of them. I did a film called Veeram, which was based on Macbeth.
Which went to the Oscars for a song.
Correct. So it was a Malayalam and Hindi bilingual. Unfortunately, the Hindi version didn't get released. But that was another time that I had a chance to explore that. But I think, we all do have our dark sides, and I think it's our it might exist, but it's how much you put that into action. It's, I think, how your morality sort of decides how much of that you put into action, how much you hold back. But we all have sides that are dark, and we'd like to explore.
You'd like to explore them because you're lucky enough to play actor, and you can.
But I'm getting a chance to explore them as an actor, at least.
Cannot give in to that. Cannot. But tell me, so the film's releasing this Friday, which is April the 2nd, and it's releasing in cinemas. So,
thank you, Manisha.
What do you make of? Do you think the fans and the public will come, and in the current situation that we're living in?
Well,
What do you make of that? What is your audience expectation at the moment?
I mean, right now, look, the next year, I think nobody knows what's going to happen. Koi jaane na, really. You don't know whether an audience is going to turn up. You don't know how many theaters are going to be open or shut down. But I'm just glad, this could have been a direct to OTT release as well. But I'm just glad that the producers have decided that, look, we'll give it a chance in the theaters as well. Because eventually it will be on an OTT platform. Because I think as an actor, what is really the most wonderful thing and the most gratifying thing is to see yourself on that big screen.
Yeah, true.
You obviously want a lot of audience to see it with, but just to see yourself on that big screen after all the work that you put in is just very, very gratifying. And I'm just glad that it's making it to the theaters.
Yes.
Thank you, Ayali.
So are we. So you've done films, Kunal, which have won national awards, which have gone to Cannes, which have gone to the BAFTA nominations, Golden Globes, and the Oscars. How does it feel that your career has films that go all the way to the highest order? I mean, how does it feel? Because you've been a part of many of them.
Well, it feels good, but there's a really famous producer that once told me something very interesting. I had gone to meet him, and he had a couple of national awards that were lying behind him. He said, no disrespect to these national awards, but my films lost a lot of money. And I got the national award for them, but the films lost a lot of money. And he said that the biggest reward for me would have been audiences in a theater. And I think all the awards are, of course, amazing. They're a sort of
like a stamp of approval.
Yeah, stamp of approval that this film has got the sort of critical love that it deserves, hopefully. But I think the biggest sort of love that you can get is obviously from the audience, and I think that for me is the most important reward. Hi, Pooja. Hi, Mr. Bob.
So you started with theatre with Barry John and Nasruddin Shah's Motley Group. Do you miss live performances?
I do. In fact, just recently, about 2 years back, I did a play, which we did 6 shows in Prithvi, and we were looking to doing many more, but unfortunately, we all got busy and it wasn't possible. And this year, we were supposed to revive the play and travel with it. And now it's seeming like it won't be possible either. So it's I mean, doing theatre is a completely sort of different high, and it's a completely sort of different feeling from doing cinema. They're both feelings that I love, but they're both very, very different from each other. The play was called Ek Punjab Ye Bhi. Somebody's asking me. Arjun's asking me.
Ek Punjabi.
Ek Punjab Ye Bhi.
Achha. So whenever we'll watch it sometime.
Correct.
You're still very hot and happy. So you're a pilot.
Simba's gone for a walk. Sorry.
No, that's fine. You have to engage with the people that love you. So you're a pilot, a rare one.
Hey, Reshma.
The only other one I know is Gul. The only other pilot I know is Gul. And Gul Kunal.
Right. We went the same school.
There's Tom Cruise, there's Brad Pitt, there's Angelina. They all have certified pilot licenses. How did you take up flying?
How did I take up flying? Flying was something that I wanted to do for a really long time. I remember that as kids, we used to have this one uncle of us in the building who was a captain. And we used to all we used to think that he was very, very cool. And then when we were young, Top Gun happened and everybody wanted to be a pilot and have a crew car and look like Tom Cruise. And I'd been sort of fascinated by flying for a very long time. And about 6-7 years back, I had some time off. So I felt like this is the right time to go and do this. So I took some time off. I took a couple of weeks off and I went and trained to be a pilot. And I've been flying ever since.
And now you're also a rally driver. Is there anything you're not doing? See, I have a theory for this. You take off into the skies and then you ground yourself with the wheels. What is this paradoxical love?
I don't know what the paradox is. I just, I think at the core of all of us, there's one thing which you look at and you say that this is the core of me. I think my core is curiosity. I want to learn as many things and I want to grow and I constantly want to find new things that I can engage with. There's this huge bucket list that I have. I'm not even halfway through it as yet. So there's
I
a lot
wouldn't be
more things I want
surprised
to
if you told me you started figure skating also.
learn.
With your abs and core balance and core everything.
Hi, Niyati.
Figure skating भी कर लोगे. Olympics में वो भी.
Thank you.
So tell me, have you participated in professional competitions and rallies? And do you have a co-driver?
Well, I did a couple of them, and then after that, I went to in fact Abu Dhabi. They have a track there.
Yes.
Which is the Marina, Yas
Yeah.
Marina, and there I had a chance to train with somebody that was very, very cool. He had worked with Michael Schumacher, so that was a lot of fun as well. But I haven't had a chance to really sort of. There was a school here in Karjat, which was where we used to catch up on the weekends and have a lot of fun. That shut down, so I haven't had a chance to sort of engage in that for a long time now. Thank you, Sherman. Thank you so much.
So you've obviously explained what excited you about flying. What about rally? What about
rally? Was just the speed. I think just the speed was just so exciting.
So I think
fond of
you
cars
need to contact Tom Cruise. You need to talk to Tom Cruise because I think everything he's done is very speed oriented. That's really affected you up and down. So I want to talk about something more serious, which you've done, which is Keto, which is a fundraising platform that you co-founded with some friends of yours in 2012. And it was a lifesaver, and it is a lifesaver during the times that we're living in. So, Kunal, how did you plan to do something which is more like a society and a sort of a medical crowdfunding situation?
Yes, Zainab. So I was working in the social space, and I found that there were a number of challenges that these NGOs were facing. I think the biggest challenge was that there were all these people that needed help, and then I had all these friends, and I came across so many people that could help, and somehow these people weren't coming together. And I felt I love technology, and I felt that if we could use technology to sort of build a bridge between people that can help and people that need helping, then it could become something that was very powerful. And Keto is actually an abbreviation for Keto Tomorrow, because we felt that if we could sort of democratize capital, which is make capital accessible to a lot of people that didn't have access to it, then it would become something that is really powerful. And we've now raised over $100 million, and it's we see the effect of it. I mean, we often talk about how the world is a bad place, but on Keto, every day we see strangers coming together to help somebody that they don't know.
Indeed.
And you see so much goodness on the platform.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of the migrant history of India. Keto was a huge part. It was a big catalyst in people reaching out to try and help them. So, bravo, Kunal. Bravo.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now I'm going
to call you. Hi, Oxford. Squash.
Sorry?
No, someone called Oxford was saying you should play squash. Squash. Okay. Maybe that's the next thing I should learn.
Yeah, you. So this is my next question. You have a song in your film Koi Jaane Na, which is called Harfan Maula.
Correct.
Which has Amir Khan's dance moves being viewed by like over 50 million times already.
Correct.
So I think you're a Harfan Maula. तुम तो सब कर लेते हो, एक्टिंग भी कर लेते हो, मुस्कुरा भी लेते हो, पायलट तुम क्या नहीं कर सकते हो, तुम सोशल चेंज भी ले आते हो, अब तुम कह रहे हो
अभी तो बहुत कुछ करना है,
आइस स्केटर भी बन जाओगे, क्या पता. So what do you think of that? Do you think you excel and you have accomplished all the things you've done so far?
No, the thing that I would really like to do, but I've realized is an impossibility, is singing. I feel like I want to learn how to sing, and I sing all the time, and it really disturbs people because in my head it's sounding very good, but in other people's ears it's sounding terrible. And
who are these people? Might that be your family?
Just everyone around. Every time I start singing, they're like, "Please, can you shut up?" And I remember I decided to take it very seriously, and I hired a teacher. And the teacher came over and he said, मैं तो किसी को भी सिखा सकता हूँ, आप फिक्र मत कीजिए, कुछ ही महीनों में आप बहुत अच्छे सिंगर बन जाएंगे. So he came for 2 classes and then he stopped taking my calls.
Why?
So I said, ये obviously किसी को भी singer नहीं बना सकता, जिसने मुझे बोला था कि बनाएगा, but he's disappeared on me. So that's something that I would love to do, but I think it's never happening.
Well, you can't do everything, Kunal. Everyone knows that. You can't
I
take
would
the
love to
space
sing.
of. Yeah, you can keep practicing. You might get there. You might get there. You might get there. So, what fuels your adventurous spirit and your creativity?
I just think that I feel like, you know, I mean, it sounds maybe philosophical, but I just feel like we're here for such a short time, and I just want to explore everything that there is possible to explore. So I want to also meditate, but I also want to go out there and you know, experience adventure. I want to know how the economy works, but I also want to know how space and astrology work. So I just want to experience as much as I can, because I feel like this thing is going to be over really quickly.
Yeah.
And we'll have spent time just doing useless things and not really exploring the world that we had around us. So yeah, I think it's a deep sense of wanting to explore and sort of maybe understand our place in the world, you know.
Yeah. Very esoteric of you, but yes, I get it. You're also distracting some people with your man bun situation. You're all going like little goo goo gaga.
I'm dying to get
all a
a
part of your vibe. So coming to the next question, which is about your looks. I would say that he looks like you, but because he's older than you, I think you're Matthew McConaughey's doppelganger without the Texan role. I really think you're that. I mean, I would really say he looks like you, being very devoted to my Indian people, but he's older than you, so he was born before you. So I have to say, you really like split.
Yeah,
You don't think so?
I've gotten that a few times. Yeah.
Can you do him? Can you like talk like him, like in a Texan drawl? Texan
No, I
drawl?
can't. I can talk in a Punjabi
Okay, just
drawl.
try. Just say all right. Come on, that's the easiest.
All right.
You have to practice.
Yeah, I have to practice. I can do a Punjabi drawl though.
Okay,
Okay,
do it.
so maybe I can be like a Punjabi, you know,
Matthew.
stick to my roots.
Say.
Punjabi
Say
drawl.
हाँ, same thing को बोलो ना.
All right. पंजाबी में कैसे बोलते हैं?
नहीं हिंदी में. ठीक है.
ठीक है.
Good. I think it's good enough.
Not very.
No, it's cool. It's cool if it was another scenario.
Aye.
So, do you consider yourself a good-looking, sexy man? And if you do, what about you makes you look sexy to the others?
I don't know. You know, it's very difficult to tell what makes you sexy to other people. I mean, it's difficult.
No, you have to.
But yeah, I mean, I don't wake up and look at the mirror and say, "My God, you're so beautiful." I don't wake up and say, "I wish I looked different." I think I'm pretty happy, and I've sort of grown into how I look, and I'm happy with that. I'm actually pretty satisfied with how I look. But yeah, I don't know what, you know. How is it? How do you define what makes you attractive to somebody else?
I guess for a larger percentage of people keep repeating the same thing. When they look at a person, it becomes a thing.
Possible, but
that's the only explanation, because there's so many people I could talk about. Well, why is that person considered beautiful, and maybe another girl who's more beautiful? But that's how people feel. It's also an energy. So I guess it's that.
Yeah, I think actually eventually it comes down to your energy, because I think you know, you come across a lot of attractive people that physically would be considered very attractive, but when you sort of interact with them, you might not find them as attractive, and then you come across somebody that in terms of the world is not perfectly, you know, looks a perfect way, but then when you interact with them, you find them very, very attractive. So when will Nobleman release on Netflix? I'm not sure. I'm actually waiting for that as well. They should release it.
So you carry your clothes rather splendidly, even when you're not wearing clothes, which is 50% when you're not wearing clothes. So you even look good in a Scottish kilt. Tell me how. How do you think clothes look so good on you? Like why? There are lots of people who are tall. There are lots of people who are like got the physique, but clothes don't look so great on them. You're like really stylish.
I think it's just about making the clothes your own, and instead of like I don't like getting into this whole stylist business too much because I feel like I'm wearing somebody else's clothes. I think what makes something stylish is when you're wearing your own stuff. and it could just be a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and it could look great. And sometimes you could be wearing the most expensive thing in the world, and you could look completely awkward in it. So I really think it's about what is comfortable to you and making that your own. I think that's really important. And most of the people that I consider stylish, like, I mean, for me, I've had a chance to work with somebody like Sanjay Dutt, and he's in jeans and a t-shirt, and he walks in, and all you can do is look at him because he's just got so much personal style. So really, it really doesn't come down to the clothes. It's about how you wear them. I think that's really important.
And the interesting thing is, how does a stylist style your abs? They're yours. You built them.
Which abs? The Photoshop ones.
That's what you do on Instagram. So, what's a lazy day in your life like?
Sorry?
What's a lazy day in your life like?
What is a lazy day? I don't know. Lazy day is just vegetating, actually, just lying around and doing nothing. So I can go from extreme activity to doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, I can just become like completely vegetative, and that is a lazy day. But you know what I really enjoy doing on, I don't know if it's a lazy day, but what I really enjoy is just sitting and being with myself. I think that is something that I find great joy in, because I feel like we spend such little time with ourselves, and I really sort of enjoy just sitting and being with myself, doing nothing. That for me is a lot of fun as well.
So you love cooking and you love eating Punjabi food. So do you like eating more or you like cooking more? And have you been cooking in the lockdown?
I've tried my hand at it, not very good at it. I would like to get better at cooking. But yeah, I'm a big foodie. I really enjoy eating. That's something that I really enjoy, and I would love to learn how to cook. My wife is a great cook, fortunately, and she cooks once in a while when she has time. She's amazing. My mom was an amazing cook. My sisters are great. My nephews are fantastic cooks. They are really, really into cooking, and they watch all the shows and stuff. So I'd love to, because I'm surrounded by such good cooks. I've attempted it. I'm not bad at it, but I would like to get better.
Okay. What kind of music do you like listening to? What's on your playlist right now?
Chicken Kurana, yeah. We should make a sequel to that, maybe.
Yeah, you wrote that film.
Yeah, I co-wrote that. Yeah.
Sorry, I corrected myself immediately. Sorry. So, what kind of music do you like listening to? What's on your playlist right now?
Right now, I'm listening to this. These Saregama people send me this thing called Karama, which is all these old Hindi songs, and I'm just obsessed with that. I'm just listening to this all day, like all the old Hindi songs. I'm constantly listening to that. That's what's on my playlist right now. And of course, Koi Jaane Na, songs from Koi Jaane Na playing as well.
Title track, yes.
Thanks, Amos. Huh?
The title track. The title track.
That's the one that just. Yes, I've read Atomic Habits. Really good book. Huh?
No, please answer. Please answer.
No. Somebody was asking me if I read this book called Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits, yes.
It's a really good book.
So, you got married to Naina Bachchan in 2015.
Correct.
So, how did you both fare the close proximity of the lockdown?
How are you, my friend? Huh?
How did you go through the lockdown together? Was it like great because you never got time with each other?
Oh, it was great actually. It was very, very good. I have to say, I've heard a lot of couples wanted to kill each other by the end of it. And I think it's a great test.
I knew that it couldn't be you, but it was a question I wanted to know for the fans.
I think it's a great test of your relationship is whether you can spend time together or not. Otherwise, you're always running around. And we've actually had such a good time together. My wife is incredibly talented. She works as an investment banker, but she's also a great cook. She's a classically trained pianist, and she's somebody who's always learning as well. She's now doing a course in the yoga sutras, and she's learning yoga and Pilates and lots of other things. So she's amazing, and I love spending time with her. We just have so much to talk about constantly because for me I think I had put this out on Instagram as well. and it was about a Venn diagram. It was, how you have a Venn diagram, and the basic idea behind that is that a relationship is like a Venn diagram. It's the portions that overlap each other is the portions that you share with each other. But it's very important that the portions that don't overlap, you also grow in those individually. Because if you're not growing individually, then you have nothing to share. So I think that's really important for any great relationship, is for two people to grow individually. And fortunately, I'm with somebody that loves growth as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now this is a little personal, but it's a fun question.
A little personal, is it?
Little bit. How does it feel being a Bachchan Damad? There are not too many out there.
Thank you, Hansak. Vitik Verma, thanks. Sorry.
How does it feel being a Bachchan Damad?
Thank you, Alize. Lots of love to you as well. How does it feel? It doesn't feel like anything. It feels like just, anything like any other family and any other relationship. And I mean, I've known Abhishek and Shweta since I was very young. We grew up in the same sort of area. Abhishek especially, of course. We used to all hang out together when we were younger. So it doesn't feel any different from how anybody would feel, being around a relative.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because you've known them for a while. So it must have been very easy. So let's come to what's the first.
Do I send me a picture, Jamie?
Sorry?
Somebody just said that we look the same. Yeah, I was in Bali a couple of years back. Loved it. Jealous of my beard? Why? You should also grow yours. Sorry.
No. So, what's the first thought crosses your mind when you wake up?
When I wake up is meditation, because I spent the first hour and a half meditating in the morning.
Wow, you're like that and all.
Like that, yes. I'm like that.
So, what is this Insta post where you are half clothed and telling people to read books? I mean, if anyone looked like that and looked so earnestly posing like that, the whole world would read books. This is a great campaign for book reading.
That was the idea that I thought was very, very cheesy, but the photographer thought it was a great idea, and I just went ahead with what he thought was a great idea.
And people are talking about it, so people should be reading books all the time now. Kunal, Kapoor ki tarah hum bhi baithenge, but everybody can't look like you then, reading a book.
Yeah, and also you're pretend reading a book, because you're, posing for a photograph, so it's not like you're really reading the book.
Kunal, so it's very obvious. It's very obvious.
I know.
I just think because you're not wearing a shirt, it's camouflaging that look. But it's very evident. So,
thank you,
what
fashion
makes you
theory.
feel like home? What makes you feel like home?
What makes me feel like home is just to be around lots of family here. I grew up in a house where I had a very large extended family, 10 uncles and aunts, 35 cousins, and my happiest childhood memories are just, we always had people in the house. We always had 7, 8, 10 relatives in the house at all times. And my happiest memories are, in the living room with the gaddas sprawled out, and all us kids sleeping on the gaddas, and waking up early in the morning, all of us together, and sitting and having breakfast together. So I think just family and community is a really big thing for me, and I think that makes home for me, is just to be around family.
What can you not?
Hey, Tarun, what's up? Huh? Alia, how are you? Huh? Sorry?
No. Please continue. Communicate.
Alia, I think you should be my manager.
I see.
Huh?
So what can you not resist in life?
What can I not resist is food and meetha. Actually, meetha is the biggest challenge for me.
You know how many fit, famous people tell me that every time for that
but
question?
it is just sugar is I try very, very, very hard. And the only time I can give up sugar is recently I was doing this Koi Janina, and I had a scene where I had to look really fit, and I had to give it up for 6 weeks. That's the only way I can give it up, is when there's fear. okay, you're going to look like shit if you don't give up sugar. You're never going to get into shape. That's the only time I can give it up. Otherwise, it's just absolutely impossible. I try very hard, but it's very, very difficult.
So you always look happy. You're always cheerful. What makes you the happiest? You said food now. Now we have to come to something else.
I think just family. I think just being
Yeah.
around my wife, my sisters, friends. I think just simple things. I don't think it takes very, very complicated things. And also, of course, learning something new is always something that makes me very happy. I think, and the other thing that makes me very happy is a great story. I remember I used to be a very sort of reticent kid, and the only time I came alive was when I had a story to tell, or I heard a great story, and I think that's not changed. I think great stories still make me very, very happy.
Wonderful. So what's the wildest thing you've done in your life or want to do in your life?
So the wildest thing is that, I mean, we got, I was with a bunch of guys and we were going skydiving in London, and I didn't know that we were going to a place which was illegal to jump from. And it was, we got arrested for that. Not arrested, but we got caught, and we were warned, and we were let off with a fine. That was not a very smart thing to do.
Okay. Now this is the
Thank you,
last
Dustin.
question. I think you should speak to, we can take some questions from them, but
Yeah,
my
let's
last
take a few
question is
questions
just to
also.
make you laugh. I want to know what's the shampoo for your ponytailed curls? What's the shampoo you
What
use?
is the shampoo?
Yes.
I actually, honestly, have no idea. I use whatever's there.
I'm
no
sure
clue.
you're using your wife's
Whatever's
shampoo.
lying there is
Yeah.
used, and usually
So-
it's my wife that's bought it and stuff. So I honestly have no idea.
Good to know. A very good husband.
Hey Sanam, how are you? Yes, it's been a very, very long time. I hope you're well.
You should. I'm done with my questions, but what I also want to say is thank you so much for your time, Kunal. It's wonderful to see you, and I wish you the very best in your film Koi Janina on April the 2nd.
Thank you so much. Thank
I
you.
hope it raises the bar for all the work you've done thus far.
Sure, thank you. Somebody wants to ask me some questions. They're saying
Yeah,
your
you should
favorite
take the
book.
questions.
I'm reading this book called Superpowers right now by this guy called Kai Fu Lee, which is very, very nice. Stay live, Alize. Okay, I will.
They want you to smile. I think you should smile. Yeah,
Okay.
you have a wonderful smile. It's radiant.
Why are you doing so less movies? I don't, it's just I haven't got the sort of stuff that I wanted to do. But I'm writing. I'm co-developing a lot of stuff right now, and this is stuff that I really want to do. The movies that I really want to do. So that I think is very exciting for me.
Someone asked you, have you found your
Thanks, Alia.
ikigai?
Lots of love. Big hug. Huh?
Someone asked you, have you found your ikigai?
My ikigai? No, I haven't found my ikigai. Not even quite sure what it is. I have the book lying here. But Alize. Okay, Alize. That scene where you were eating a burger. Oh my God, that was a very difficult scene to do actually, because Pradeep Sarkar, the director of that, he just wants to get everything perfectly right. And he wanted just the right amount of mayonnaise to fall in just the right place. And I ended up eating some 22 burgers. I was spitting the food out by the end of it, because he was like, but just little more if we can have the mayonnaise. And I was like, how much? Like, how can we get this perfect? But we did. What's your point on storytelling? As in, I don't understand the question. My point on storytelling means? Hi, Lynette.
Someone from Texas says hi.
Yeah, Lynette. Hi, Nisha. How are you? Hi, Pooja. Okay, all right.
Okay.
So I think we're done.
Yes. No, we're not done
Thanks,
live.
Priya. Thank
We're
you.
done with this.
Yes, we're not
We're
done
done
with life. Hopefully.
Yes. Thank you again, Kunal. Wonderful to see you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. See you. Bye.